things that like people will already have, like a straightener or a blow dryer. A lot of people don't have a crimping iron, but if you plan on doing a lot of wigs or long wigs, I definitely recommend investing in one. You can also use a teasing comb, but I'll talk about that stuff a little bit later. For hairspray, you want to use a glue-based hairspray. If you use hairspray that is meant for real hair, it's just gonna slide off of your wig because it's synthetic. And real hairspray does not hold onto plastic. So you need something that's glue-based. So this is, what's on here is got to be glued hairspray. And that's like the cosplayer holy grail. Everyone has like a bunch of them and has inhaled an unnecessary amount of it. It is probably in my lungs, but that's okay. Another thing that I recently started using a lot is got to be hair mousse. It's just like a hair mousse, but it has more like the glue-based stuff in it, as like the hairspray does, and so it works a lot better for wigs. It's good for like keeping down flyaways and just helping hold styling. And then some other stuff you'll need scissors. Like hair scissors are better than using like kitchen scissors or craft scissors. They cut a lot better even on synthetic hair. And then it doesn't like, stuff about scissors with dulling the blade, I don't know what works better. But when you get like professional, if you just get hair scissors, they also come with thinning shears, which are really helpful with styling wigs. I'll talk about that later as well. And then there's also, it's good to have like a few different brushes to use. Some brushes work better than others. Yeah. Some extra tools, these are things that you technically don't need. Like you don't need these to get by, but they like help a lot. I like styling wigs with a steamer more than anything else. You can use a blow dryer and it kind of works the same, it just takes a little bit longer. But a steamer is like pretty quick, and otherwise, because it heats up more, I don't know. Some other things you could use are Uhu glue, tacky glue. I don't have us on here, but Tombow Aqua glue is another good one. It helps keep certain things down and stuff like that, but it's kind of, you don't need it unless you're really doing a bunch of glued stuff, which I don't talk about in this panel because that's a whole thing. But I will talk about it tomorrow because I have another panel tomorrow, the advanced cosplay wig, if anyone wants to come tomorrow.
In the same room at 4:45.
Yay!
Wow.
Wow, same room. Made things easy. Anyway, if you plan on doing a lot of wigs, I recommend investing in a wig stand, wig head, and T-pins. The pins you can get, they're like sewing pins. They're called T-pins, and you can pin them into a wig head, and it works pretty well to like hold things in place. I like using cork wig heads and not, they have canvas ones and styrofoam wig heads. I hate styrofoam wig heads because I used to style wigs on it, but then the styrofoam would chip off into my wig. And so there's just styrofoam embedded in some of my really old wigs that are buried in the back of my closet, or I don't know, it's somewhere, but there's styrofoam in it. And it also, they're typically a lot smaller than people's heads actually are. So it doesn't actually fit your head shape, which is another good thing is if you measure your head, you go around from the forehead to the back of your hairline, and then you can look up that on like Amazon or wherever. Like for example, my head is 22 inches, and you can look up 22-inch wig head, and there will be ones that come up. The one in this picture exactly, I don't know why I couldn't get like the picture of the one that I use on here. I think it just didn't have a stand in the picture. That's the one I also don't like because the pins don't go into it very well. I like the ones that are cork and have cork inside it. These ones are canvas and like have plastic inside it. I don't know, I'm picky. But anyway, Some other extra things is glitter, trims, tinsel, lights, accessories to make your wig fun and unique. And then some advanced stuff. I won't talk about like any of this in here. I think it's just some stuff that people use, especially now with stuff with like glued wigs and wire framing and all of that I'm gonna talk about tomorrow. But I won't get into that today. And then some other helpful things, silicone spray and wig detangler are really good if you have a long wig that gets tangled very easily, because silicone helps prevent the plastic from rubbing and sticking on itself. And so instead, the wig fiber just kind of slip against each other instead of getting caught in knots. And then wig detangler also, they have ones that are specific for synthetic wigs that help. Also for heavy wigs, you can get wigs, snaps and clips or wig combs to like sew into your wig to help prevent it from sliding back. And then sectioning clips, I think they're called alligator clips. I forget every time. I go and look and then I forget. But instead of using like a claw clip or like a different kind of clip, the alligator clips work a lot better. And then if you need magnets to put on accessories, use Trimag magnets. If you use a different kind, they normally aren't strong enough, but Trimag ones are very strong. Oh my god, there's still more things I forgot. Some other things, small hair elastics. If you want to curl your wigs, use curling rollers. The other two are like glue stuff, so I won't get into that. But anyway, where can you buy tools? You can get a lot of stuff online, or you can get some things in stores. Online, you can get stuff on Amazon, AliExpress. Arta Wigs also has some stuff, or in stores, you can go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Home Depot, CVS, or Target. CVS has a lot of like hairstyling stuff that you can get like cheaper than some other stores in person. So I like going there and wandering and being like, I could probably use this for a wig, and then never touch it, but it's fine. And then some places where you can get wigs. For lower quality wigs, basically the difference between lower quality and higher quality wigs is just the heat resistance level. Amazon wigs are kind of a gamble, and same with like AliExpress. They kind of all are different because there's a bunch of different sellers on there. So always check reviews and descriptions to see like the heat resistance, or see if like someone left a review and they're like, this wig sucks, or like if it's really thin. But lower quality ones, typically I always look at the reviews for them. If it does not have a review, I will not be buying it. There has to be at least one, and preferably with a picture so I can see what I'm getting myself into. But yeah, you can get stuff on Amazon, AliExpress. I'll email Wig Supplier. It's also has a lot of variety. They have a lot of character-specific stuff. Doki Doki Cosplay and Uwowo Cosplay also have some wigs which are cheaper, but you have to pay more for shipping. A lot of people don't like lower quality wigs because they don't come the way they look in the pictures, because the pictures are styled, but when you take it out of the bag, it's not styled. So people, you just have to put work into it and it'll be okay. My wig's from Amazon. I don't like spending a lot of money on wigs for myself, except the glue. That doesn't count though. But higher quality wigs that you can get, again, it's just wigs that have higher heat resistance. So sometimes they might take a little more work with styling, but they also are typically fuller wigs, so there's a lot more hair to work with, because sometimes you get a wig that is cheap and it is really thin and like you can see your wig cap under it, and it's unfortunate, but it's fine. But anyway, places you can get it, Arta Wigs, Epic Cosplay Wigs, and if you want like a character specific wig, Arta and Epic Cosplay don't really have a ton of them. They have some, but Cosmo Wigs has a bigger variety of character-specific wigs that are higher quality. So many words, oh my god. I need to breathe, sorry. Okay, so now we're gonna get into styling stuff. Well, not really, but preparing the wig. If you get a wig, some people get them secondhand, or like if you get it from a friend, or you order it on like Depop or like Mercari or whatever, or if you wore it outside and rolled around in like the leaves or the dirt in the fall or something. I don't know why. I don't know what happens. Sometimes I find leaves in my wigs and I don't know where they came from. But anyway, if you need to, you might need to wash your wigs, especially if you bought it secondhand. You don't know where it's been. And then like brush it out and add texture. Oh, I thought I had one on here. Wait, hold on. Oh, they got mixed around. Hold on. I'll go back to the other one. But when you clean your wig, a lot of times people will say to use fabric softener, but it's kind of just this old thing that's been around in the community for a long time, but it doesn't actually work. It makes your wig smell like fabric softener and kind of feel like it had fabric softener on it, but it doesn't actually clean the wig as well, or people would say it prevents tangling and stuff, but it doesn't really. So I just recommend using shampoo and conditioner to wash it. It has the same like effect, it gets it cleaner, and yeah, it works better. And then there's other videos on here about that, but it's not showing up. But there's YouTube links if you want to look later if you download this slide. But when you go to brush out the wig after it's washed, if you wash it, you want to make sure your wig is completely dry before you brush it. You never want to brush out a wig when it's wet, or you're going to lose twice as much hair. And it's just going to also be a lot more difficult. Just let it dry overnight and you'll be good. I think I have a video about curling on here. I might be wrong. I forget if it's on the other presentation I have, the like advanced one. I think it's on here. Wait, let me check. Yeah, okay. I'll talk about it in a second, but it's essentially if you lose the curl, you can just recurl it. But okay. But yeah, I'll talk about it in a second. But in terms of like the spikes and the styling, does anyone have like any questions on that? Okay. Then some tips for it, I said about the cooling. You don't want to cut it too short. Unlike real hair, the wig hair is not going to grow back. It's better to cut it too long and then go in and have to trim it a little more than to have to deal with it being too short because you cut too much off. Some of the wigs that I didn't put in the where I started picture are really horrendous because I cut them too short. Don't laugh at me, Karen. I think Karen is the only person here who witnessed that. Were you there when I cut them?
Yes.
Oh God.
We cut them together.
Too much together. You need to leave. But anyways, yeah, don't cut it too short. You can measure it out. If you get a wig head, you can like measure where your nose is and parts of your face and like draw on the wig head so you can use that as a reference. Yes. Oh, okay. Sorry. It's okay. It is very important. I have safety tips on every single slide because you do have to be careful. It is very easy to burn yourself or hurt yourself, or you could even cut yourself with the scissors, or like if you're using a lot of hairspray, it's not very good to inhale. So you want to have ventilation and stuff, and my parents walk by my room when I'm home and they're like, that's not good for you, and I go, I know. But it's okay, cause yeah, I don't care. I also I have an air purifier going. When it's not boiling hot out, I'll have like the window open or the door open. But it's just good to have airflow or have like air purifier and whatnot. But yeah. Some things that make it easier, you can use 3D model references to be able to actually spin the character around if you're referencing a character. Sketchfab is the website I use. They have a lot of characters from a lot of different things. You can also just look up the character name, where they're from, and then 3D model, and you might be able to find one from there. as well. But it's a lot easier than having to compile a bunch of references and make like a collage of photos and then have to like look back and forth. But that's one thing I like about doing like Hoyoverse wigs is all of their character models are available, and I can just either open the game or open like a website and just spin them around, and it makes things so much easier. But yeah, another helpful thing is using the T-pins I mentioned earlier to hold pieces in place. Once I do like one spike, I'll pin it in place while I go to work on the next one, because sometimes the heat can go and affect the other like parts of the wig that you already did, and that might lose some of the form that you had already put into it. But also it helps keep it in place, because the more you like put heat and let it cool in that spot, the longer it'll last and the better it'll hold. So once everything is like done, I pin everything in place and go just hold the steamer for like a while and just spin it around and then just let it cool, and then it's normally good. Did you have something to say?
Every time I think of something to say, you say it.
Okay.
My job usually at these things is to say the things that you forget to say, but you're not
getting better.
You're doing good today. Now there's no point for me.
I'm normally
I'm
bad.
just sitting here like falling
Okay.
asleep.
No, wait.
I'm sorry, it's really hot in
It
here.
is
It's
really
making
hot.
me
I'm
like
kind of dying a little, but it's okay.
I'm like gonna pass
Yes.
out.
Just a quick question, with that hairspray glue, do you have any recommendations for prepping the area around it so you don't end up with an entire desk or room full of glue everywhere?
Not
Move
really.
stuff out of the way that you care about.
A lot of people, like, if you are able to, like, if you have a space that you can do it, like a craft room, or like sometimes people will just bring it outside, spray it, bring it back inside, or like go into the garage, spray it down there, or like just somewhere that has less things that they care about. Or another thing that I used to do, but I stopped doing because I stopped caring, is I used to use poster boards underneath my wigs to help like clean up and to help collect like hairspray and glitter, because I dump glitter everywhere. And just like you could even like stack it around the wig when you spray it. But yeah, that's all.
Do you use gloves at all when you're using that stuff, or do you just clean up the hands afterwards?
I just wash my hands after, and it takes a little bit because there's a lot of glue buildup. But I just wash my hands. I don't wear gloves. I like being able to like feel the hair fibers. I don't like having like gloves. Also, I have long nails, so the gloves don't really work. But yeah, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Would a heat gun work for doing this, or is it generally too hot?
I would say it's normally too hot. I've seen people do some things with it. I guess it depends on the heat gun. I don't personally have one, but like I know like it can be pretty hot. I've seen most of the time people who use a heat gun with wigs, it's typically like glued ponytail wigs to like use to melt the batting and like all sorts of stuff. But yeah, if you have it like and you want to test it, I would test it like on the bottom, like middle of the wig, somewhere that you don't know, that won't be seen if it gets messed up. Which is also, especially if you get lower quality wigs and you don't know the heat resistance on it, it's always good to check like if your tools are gonna burn it before you start styling it. Like check in a place in the back that you won't see, just so that you don't melt the wig. It doesn't happen very often to me now, but it has happened like before. But yeah, were you gonna say something? Okay. It's okay. Here, I'll purposely miss something now so you can.
Thank you.
No, I don't know. You don't curl wigs, so we'll give it a minute. It's okay. You can just look pretty. Yeah.
That's your job too, though.
No.
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
you're my pretty wife. Anyway. Curling. So now I can answer your question about curling. What?
Not to go.
Okay. These videos are really widely shot because it was a very long wig that I was curling. but there's like videos on YouTube, also like on here. But when I curl a wig, I use foam rollers. This wig was also crimped beforehand to help hold the styling. But for curls, you don't necessarily have to crimp or add texture to it beforehand. It just kind of helps prevent tangling. So I'm gonna pause the other two so I can talk about the first one because there's too many things happening and I'm distracted. But when I curl a wig, I section it out first, especially if it is a very long or thick wig, because the rollers like to hold like a certain amount of hair, and if there's too much, it won't curl right, or you'll have this weird indent that you can't get rid of unless you recurl things. But what I do with, what are you doing? Sorry. What I do with the wig is I thin it out first, and then I brush it out, and then I just put it in the roller and I roll it up. I think this was just me sectioning it and thinning it, so we can pause that one. But this one, oh, it's like halfway through. Oh my god. But these are foam rollers that I got from CVS. I did get another pack like on Amazon as well. But I brush it out, like I said. I used to add hairspray before putting it in the roller, but now I do it after. But then, like once everything is in the rollers, you just kind of roll it up. However, it doesn't matter the direction. I just have it kind of go upwards. But once everything, okay, go back to this one. Once everything is in the rollers, I put it in a plastic bag, and then I put my steamer in a hole in the bag, and I just fill the bag with steam, and then close the bag up and let the steam sit in the bag with the curls for like a little bit until it doesn't feel warm anymore. You do want to be careful because the hot air will like come out of the bag, or like if you touch the bag and it's full of steam, you can still burn yourself. The bag is not preventing the steam from burning you. I have done it before, that's why I'm saying that. But yeah, you leave the hair in the bag for a little bit, and then you take it out of the bag once it feels like it's cooled a little bit, and then I leave the rollers in the hair until the hair feels dry. I don't like taking the rollers out when the hair is still wet because it kind of can get stuck on the roller and it's not as easy to take off. But yeah. And then I don't have a video of it, but I like to do afterwards. I use the like got to be hair mousse instead of the hairspray, and I put that in my hand and just like brush finger comb the mousse through the curls, and then that helps keep the curls together. And also because curls will be formed with heat, if you brush it out, it will look like you lost some of the curl, but if you just take the section, wrap it around your fingers, and then just like kind of let that fall, it will just go back into the shape that it was in before because it was put like that with heat. But does that make sense? Okay, cool. I have other videos. There's a bunch of different methods about it also, like some people curl wigs different ways, but like the most important thing is just letting it heat up and cool, as with everything. And curling wands do not work on wigs. There are some people who still like insist like that you can get it to work, but like the most important part of it is when it cools. But if you wrap the hair around a curling wand and then just let it fall, it's just gonna go back to being straight. You have to like strategically get it to sit in your hand, still roll like wrapped around, and also burn your hand. So I just recommend not using a curling wand at all. What Karen and I actually did the other day is use a straightener. We use a straightener down the hair and then wrapped it around a PVC pipe or like a paper towel roll, and without like using my hand to control the hair. I just use the straightener to wrap it around the object, and then I let it cool while wrapped around. And then once you take it off, it sits in a curl. And so it kind of works like using a curling wand without like melting the wig. I don't have a video of that one, unfortunately. I did take one, so I will put it up there onto the slide, like, hopefully, like, in the next week. I literally recorded it, like, Thursday. No, that was Thursday. Yesterday was Thursday, like, Wednesday. So I don't have the video on here yet, but, like, if you scan the QR code, it'll be there. But anyway, yeah. Do you have anything to say? Okay. I wish. Another thing, oh yes.
I don't know if you'll get to like store them later, but do you find like you have to do anything special for curly wigs to like keep them styled for next year? Like, do they lose the curls you find?
I do talk about storing
Okay.
wigs, but I didn't add a specifically curly wigs.
Right.
What I just do is I put the curled part in a bag so that it kind of stays scrunched, so that it kind of still stays in that curl pattern instead of it like being able to fall loose. I normally do it, hold them, like make them go horizontally so that I can change the direction of the curl, because if you're rolling it straight upwards, it doesn't have a direction. The curl will fall out in the direction that you unroll it. So if you like tilt it to the right and then unroll it, it'll face that direction. But if you tilt it to the left and unroll it, it'll go to the left. I don't know if that makes sense, but like you can also just wrap it around your finger and change the direction sometimes. But like if you wrapped it around an object or like used a curling iron, so to say, it would only go in that direction and it wouldn't go in an opposite direction. So that's one good thing about the rollers. You said the word direction so many times, it doesn't sound like a real word anymore. Sorry. Continue. Dang it. I'm making things up. I said this, but don't be careful with the bag, it's full of steam. Don't put your hand in the bag also. Or don't tilt the steamer. I found that this is not just my steamer. Steamers don't like to be tilted, and if they are, they will just spit water up at you. Boiling water. And it's not fun, if you could imagine. But yeah. You can also, there's plastic bags in Connecticut, so this is not so much an issue here as it is when I present panels in New Jersey where they don't have plastic bags. But plastic bags are very helpful for holding steam in one place for a long time, because then you don't have to sit there and just hold the steamer, and you don't have to worry about all of the hair getting an equal distribution of steam, and like one curl not being as curled in one area, and it's just easier. But does anyone have questions on curling? Yes.
My hair really doesn't have plastic bags anymore, so if you're
Oh.
if you're to change it for something else, what was it?
Oh god. I used to just sit there until I found out that you could put a plastic bag around it. But now I just hoard plastic bags because we go to school in New Jersey, so when I'm home in Massachusetts, I just take a bunch of bags back to New Jersey with me. But like you can just have a designated bag for it also if you can get your hands on one plastic bag. Also I have seen people use trash bags. So, was that what you were gonna say? Yeah, so if you can't get plastic bags, you can use a trash bag. But yeah, yes.
Also, it might get a little wet, but some like polyester cloth bags can also work, because polyester basically is just plastic.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I just have plastic bags, so that's what I default to. But yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff you can get creative. But yes, does anyone else have questions or concerns about plastic bags? Yes?
Not plastic bags, but my wig came styled curled like this,
Yes.
but it's frizzy and a mess. Would I have to uncurl it and then recurl it myself to fix
frizzy and it kind of doesn't keep the curl, then yes. But you can also use like, if it's just a few parts, you can kind of just do those small sections. Unfortunately, you can't really get frizz, or not frizz, but like the tangled frizz that wigs get, like at the ends, you can't really remove that without like straightening it or adding heat to get rid of it, unfortunately. That's why one good thing about crimping is it's a lot harder to get that kind of frizz in your wig because there's a different texture and it doesn't just kind of get caught on itself as much. So like if you were to like go and curl it again, and you wouldn't mind going through the effort of crimping it and to make it last longer, if you think this wig is something you really want to wear a lot, I would recommend crimping it and then curling it again so that it holds a lot better. But yeah, yes.
So, with the plastic bag technique, is that really only for long hair wigs? Or if I just had a short hair wig, would I still be able to use that kind of technique?
Yeah, you can use it for short hair wigs. As long as like it can fit in the bag, it's fine. That's why like you could use a bigger bag, like a trash bag and whatnot. And if you have like, you would not want to do any of this on your actual head, especially if you're using a steamer. But if you have like a styrofoam head, which I wouldn't recommend with a styrofoam head either, but like if you have a cork head or just something to put the wig on, you can just surround it with the bag, with the head, like wig head in it as well, and then go from there. But yeah, yes.
First cosplay ever was Miku. It came with detachable pigtails.
Mm-hmm.
This one said it was, quote, the most knotted wig they'd ever seen.
Yes.
Miku is notorious for that.
Yeah.
We had a three-way unknotting my wig party and we still couldn't fix
Yeah.
it. First of all, how do you travel with a wig that long? Second of all, it's still tangled. How do you fix it?
Okay.
I never fixed it. It's every time I try to fix it.
I have 2 Miku wigs, and one is curled at the bottom, and it is currently okay. After 3 conventions with it, I think, and a Kikuo concert. Correct. And it is just, it's vibing still. But what I do to store it, because it's curled, is it's just sitting in a plastic bag. Like just in my closet with nothing on it, and it's just on a shelf and it's just in a bag. Just the pigtails though, not the rest of it. But like if you had a straight pigtail, I wouldn't say you should do the same thing, but I guess it might not really matter as long as it's not in a hot space. But what I recommend for long wigs, especially for like Miku pigtails, is thinning it out. Like I said earlier with like doing the shape, if you start about halfway and do like one and then go like halfway of that and then halfway of that, and also cutting at an angle and not straight across, you can't see the like marks of the thinning shears as well. But getting rid of the bulk in the wig helps prevent tangles. So like if you look at videos of people who have their Miku wig that is like completely untangled, it is normally a lot thinner at the bottom. But also, you can use silicone spray. Some people just literally go outside and douse their wig in silicone spray. Mine only has like a spray that is partially silicone in it and it's still fine. You don't really need to douse it because then it kind of is really shiny and slippery and whatnot. But crimping it also helps a lot. But yeah, thinning and crimping is what I recommend most for long wigs if you don't want it to tangle, and also like a little bit of silicone spray or detangler. And I've recently also noticed that like got to be hair mousse also helps. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do, but like it's a process in the moment, but then it's worth it not having to detangle it as much at the end of the day, at the end of the convention. But I know you said yours is detangled. I would recommend getting an unbrush and detangler, and then it should help a lot.
That wig is just like a different layer of hell. To this
Yeah.
day, I still find like Miku shedding.
Oh,
I don't know where it comes from. I just
Yeah, I find wig hair around my room and I go, I haven't worn that wig in like months, but it's okay. It just lives there. But yeah.
There was wig hair in my toilet the other day. I'm not joking.
I think I found some on my dog. He comes in my room while I style wigs. He's like, I call him my manager, and he just sleeps and watches. But yeah, you have a question.
Silly question, but how do you keep the wig stand from falling over? 'Cause that was a problem that I had when I was doing the last one.
It depends on the wig stand. Oh, do you want to answer?
Put it between your toes.
Yeah, I do this crazy grip with my feet. I'm not gonna lie. You always make fun of me. You're like, this is you
No,
look
I don't,
horrible.
because I do the same thing.
But like
because you're totally correct. It just topples over, especially when you're like trying to brush and stuff. But the wider you make the bottom, the less topply it is. And also sometimes I like make like a makeshift weight, and I just put something heavy on the bottom so it doesn't like. Or my foot. I also use my foot.
I normally just hold it with my foot.
This morning when I was doing it, it like fell in the sink.
Oh, that's bad.
But yeah, I hold it, or also it depends sometimes on the wig stand you have. I've gone through 4 in 5 years, but the one I have now has been with me for 2 years. But then there was one that lasted a month, and one that lasted a year, and then I don't even remember about the other one. But I've gone through a lot, and the one I have now has like a little bit of grip on the bottom, and it has like a wider base, and it also has this little tray you can put on it to put your wig styling tools in, and it's really nice. It's the one that is linked on the slideshow, not the one that was pictured. It's different, but anyway, I like that one a lot better than the other 3, but yeah. You have a question.
Regarding the wig stands falling over, what my sibling has done for theirs is that we got one of those really long sandbags, usually used for like outdoor speakers, to wrap around the bottom, and that has kind of worked a treat. I don't know where you get them, my dad just had it.
Oh my god, I don't know why I've never thought about this, because I literally went to film school. But like they have sandbags for lighting in film, and I could probably get one of those and put that on there.
I don't know
But
if my
it's
dad
okay.
got it, he just had it.
That's really
Also,
funny, actually.
Regarding storing long wigs, I'm sorry, I don't mean to like.
You're okay. No, I don't care.
My sibling did Sue from My Hero like a couple
Mhm.
years back, and I believe that wig is currently wrapped around some flat cardboard. Because it's like you put the flat on, and I think it was a really crappy wig, so I think we ended up having to tape it, but you can sometimes tie it, and then you like wrap it around, and you put like layers of parchment paper in between the sheets, because then it keeps the fibers from rubbing against each other. You would have to detangle it first, but that might, but if you are able to get to the light at the end of the tunnel, that might be able to keep it from getting that bad again. And it's also good storage because they actually fit in those like expandable folder binders.
Oh.
So I think my sibling has like 4 or 5 wigs in one of those like big like paper binder things that are all just wrapped around cardboard.
I'm picturing that, and it looks really silly in my head.
It's like
very
it's like you put down like a briefcase, and you like open up your folder, and hair comes out. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
It's very silly.
Yeah. Okay. Before I move on, does anyone have any other questions? Okay, yes. Over there. Yes. Oops.
How do you deal with like the parting line if you have hair moving in different directions?
If you have a steamer, if you put it in the direction you want it to go, and just hold the steamer and then let it cool in that place, you can change where the part is. You can do it with like a blow dryer would also work. It doesn't work as well with like a flat iron if you were trying to use that to change where the part is, because there will be like a tiny bit that still goes in the original direction. Okay.
Is that me?
Yes. But yeah, if you use like a steamer or something else, and then use like a rat tail comb or just something else that has a like pointy tip at the end to split it, and then use steam or just heat in general to get it to change directions, it should stay in that place where it cools. But yeah. Okay. And you also had a question.
So, if you're doing like spikes on the top of the head, how would you keep it in place while it cools down so it stays in shape?
Hold it. One thing with spikes, especially ones that go straight up, I like to tease and crimp it. Because it gives it a little bit extra of a base to like sit on. Sometimes I like will section it out and then remove the outmost layer of hair so it looks clean on the end, and then tease what's underneath and then just kind of go from there. But yeah,
I feel like that falls more into the advanced category, because like I'm trying to picture that and
I don't know. I feel like it's easier when you see it, but like trust, it's not that bad. I do have to speed run this next bit, so if anyone else has questions, if you want to like, we have our socials on this as well, you can message us or you can find us outside. But I'm gonna speed run these next few things. Accessories, have fun, make your wigs unique if you want to. I know some people don't like to, they like to be accurate. But I like dumping glitter and adding tinsel to everything, so don't look in our hotel room. Or on me. Some tips with that, plan where you want things to go beforehand, because if you are using glue to stick something on, you have to deal with it being there forever. I like to wander around Michael's sometimes if I don't know what to put in a wig, and then I can get ideas from looking at random things at Michael's or like any craft stores.
they're having a summer flower sale.
Oh yeah,
70% off.
We don't get sponsored by Michael's.
Like
But
to
anyway,
clarify.
they also make glitter hair and body spray, which makes adding glitter a lot easier. This is how I store my wigs. I did put this on here because I get this asked every single time. And I used to shove them in my closet and restyle them every time because I don't care. But it's kind of hard to see in these. But I have a bookshelf in my room, and I made space to be able to put wigs on the head and then put them on the bookshelf there. And then I also got those like wire cubes that like everyone has in Artist Alley, and I built a structure in my closet to store my wigs on. And I put them on wig heads, and then I just put them in the cube, and they hang out there until I see them next time. Okay, those don't show up. But some other storage tips is you want to keep it away from heat. If you do store your wigs and it's near a heater, they are going to lose their shape because the heat's going to alter the way they are. Don't put your wig in a bag, except like don't put it in a bag that it can't breathe in. It needs like air, for some reason, I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to speed run this and it's not working. I said that stuff, yay. Yeah, but be patient. That's kind of, these are one of the biggest things, some of the biggest things I can say. Be patient, have fun. If you start getting angry, stop doing the wig and come back to it at a different time. You will cut off too much hair or you will make mistakes. Don't look at me. You looked at me first.
Because I knew you were gonna look at me.
But learning takes time. I've been doing wigs for 5 years, and there are still a lot of things that I'm still learning every single day. And I do an obnoxious amount of wigs. Don't stress over it. It's not supposed to be stressful. It's an art. Have fun. I mean, it's a little bit stressful, but like, don't let it consume your life. It does not need to be perfect, especially if you were just starting out. I promise. No one cares that much. If your wig gets staticky, you could use dryer sheets, and it helps get rid of the static. I forgot to say that. And also, don't douse your wig in hairspray. It won't come out if there is too much. If you have flyaways, you can hold the steamer while you brush it down with like a toothbrush, and the flyaways will stick down a lot better. And I'm going to, you can also, there's a lot of tutorials. People used to gatekeep a lot more than they do now. there are more helpful things now. Anyway, here's the QR code so that you guys can have that while questions and while it's ending and whatnot. But yeah, yay, all done.
Yeah, thank you.